and let me switch on. And it is the GS Motivator. If you come on that, you can see this program going on live for all of us. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me just roll the program so that it's a women leadership, and we are going to talk over here basically the creativity, how the music for creativity in education. Let me write over here. Dr. Barbara can also understand because she's doing lots of job in Assam in India. So I'll write namaskar. Okay, great. So ladies and gentlemen, today is on the eve of the International Women Day. We extend a very warm welcome to all our sisters, all our children, all our girl child, and of course, remaining is the male folk. I extend a warm welcome to you as well. But today is a day for the women, their recognition, because everybody has told me, Dr. Sharma, don't use the word empowerment next time. I said, I didn't write. I got it basically from United Nation, UNESCO website, and I wrote it. They said, okay, no worries. So let me just share with all of you the International Chamber for Service Industry. What have we done this week? What are we doing this week? Is something very, very important for sharing with all of you. Today is Sunday, almost 8 days back. That's on Saturday, 27th of February, the lady who returned from Germany to India at Chennai, Chitrakalaji, Chitrakala Ramachandran, the principal Chennai Public School, she brought 12 celebrities together, 10 female and 2 male. And remember, male in minority this week. Okay, you got to listen to the voice of the female. That's very, very important. So we got 12 of them together as a curtain raiser, women leadership, achieving an equal future in a COVID-19 world. That is the slogan, that is the title, and that is the caption given by United Nations. So we followed the same. And thereafter, we moved in our journey. The 1 week packaging we have done. We started, we took all the regions of India. So we went to Western India, over there, the Rajasthan, Gujarat, Maharashtra, some portion of, the Madhya Pradesh also we took into that. And this particular session was led by Amrita S. Dudhia. She's a mind coach, inspirational speaker, and entrepreneur. And she took on the journey from Jodhpur and she brought 12 powerful women. It was a wonderful deliberation to listen to all of them on 1st of March. 2nd of March on Tuesday, we went down south. Vanakkam, Namaskaran, Namaskar, all of us together with Kavita Menon ma'am, the CEO, Director Academics and Trainer Global Language. And she was the one over there. And she brought these 5 celebrities because she says the whole universe is with Panch Tattva. With the 5 elements, the whole world has been made. So these 5 women together, they will talk and they will represent the southern part of India. From there, we move to technology. The IT plays very important role in education, like doctors, nurses, paramedical people during the coronavirus. You all have been the great warriors similar way. Our teachers, our educators, our principals, our directors, and whosoever is in the ecosystem of education. And the top of everybody, technocrats. So she being a very powerful technocrat who is giving lots of solution in the education ecosystem in schools. Devalal, the managing director of the Flip Learn Education. We are talking nowadays a lot of flip learning, digital learning, blended learning, outside classroom learning, and innovative learning, techo-based learning. So she is for the Flip Learn Education. So she brought these celebrities, 6 of them together. It was a great deliberation. Then we went to eastern part of India. There are 8 beautiful states in India. Those belong to the northeastern part of India, and they all had come for this particular program. It was a great treat for all of us when Swapna Shom, the principal, Bhavan's Tripura Vidya Mandir, she basically took on the journey, and all of us we were together in eastern part. Thereafter, we went to Shri Shri Group. You know all Shri Shri Ravi Shankar ji. If you recall, way back in 1970s early, Shri Ravi Shankarji and Deepak Chopra, who is in United States. Together, both of them in very early of 70s, they were with Maharishi in United States. I'll take on the discussion and deliberation some other day with all of you. So over here, very, very dynamic principal, she brought these little kiddies from the school. And what a mind blowing, and she weaved the entire story in such a way, the entire universe in our day-to-day life she took. That is Chanchala Yalamanchi ji, the principal, Shri Shri Academy, Hyderabad. It was beautiful. I bless all these children right from the 6th class to the 11th class. It was a school education, celebration, women leadership, girl education, empowerment, where we had talked about. Right, let's move from there. Last night, mind blowing. Can you imagine? It was a 3 hours program, 3 hours program. Dr. Shauli Mukherjee, the Director School of Education and Dean Student Affairs, Adamas University, and formerly she was with school education, now with the higher education. She brought 25 girls together on a common platform. We started at 8 and we finished at 11 p.m. because I told her, let's not stop any child. Let them speak whatsoever they want. Let's give them the adequate opportunity. And it was something great learning from all of them. And that was Saturday, 6th of March. We had these deliberations. And ladies and gentlemen, today, when I think about happiness, mental happiness, spiritual happiness, my spirit happiness, my cerebrum happiness, my inner core happiness, my whatsoever happiness in this universe, music plays very important role. And I'm a very strong believer. I'm a very, very strong believer and a firm believer that music plays very important role in our life. Great respect for Madam Sunita Bhuyaji. She's a HR consultant and she's a musician. She's for wellness, she's for leadership, and she's for change intervention. That's a great woman. I'm just so much to learn from her and so much to know from there. Now, Dr. Chitra Kapoor, our DDG, she has brought all these celebrities together with Sunita ji. That is Madam Nirja Singh, that is Dr. Barbara Mas, Dr. Poonam Kumar, Madam Vidya Natarajan, Dr. Priyavi Balakrishnan Mona Rawal from USA, then Amandeep Kaur from USA, Namrata Mohan, she's a psychotherapist and she's doing a great job to help out children from Canada, and Prabjot Kant, again from Canada, and of course, Vajanti Mahadevanji, she is again from United States with us this evening. So, ladies and gentlemen, in this journey, when we will move ahead, initially we will have Sunita Bhuyaji. She would be giving us music for creativity in education. But before we come on that, let me share with you, tomorrow is the D-Day. Tomorrow, Sunita ji has got a couple of programs. That's why she was very kind to give us today's evening. Although there are some challenges in life, nature gives us challenges. In spite of that, commitment is commitment. Like my younger sister, she told Dr. Sharma, once I'm committed to you, I'm committed, I'm coming. I'm proud of this woman and I bow my head before her because she was passing through some difficult medical things with the family, but she was kind enough to come. She was kind enough to come. I'm proud of her and I send her my blessings. The world is going to be a better place. Everything is going to be fine. Now, tomorrow is the D-Day and tomorrow is the International Women Day. And when I talk about the northeast part of India, tomorrow from 6 to 7 p.m., there's going to be a special deliberation, Arunachal Pradesh. That is the last state when I talk about and look towards. Kindly look at India's map, and then you will come to know women in deliberation. And then I will talk some story with all of you. And then, of course, tomorrow evening at 8 p.m., that program is at 6 p.m. and this program is at 8 p.m. Tomorrow, you'll be seeing all the session chair and you'll be having a couple of other celebrities together with us in the program. Our chamber, International Chamber for Service Industry, which is a link between 31 million overseas Indian diaspora, Indian corporate, and various government ministry is what we have got. We all are together working on to. Excuse me. My throat is very, very bad because I've been doing some of the webinar 14 hours non-stop. So making education relevant. How to make education relevant? That is the thing. Honorable Prime Minister of India, Honorable Education Minister of India, 29th of July, new education policy. During the union budget on 1st of February, Nirmala Sitharaman ji, she announced 100 new Sainik schools to come up. 1st of February, she announced. 2nd of February, we started journey. All these armed forces officers, Army, Navy, Air Force, they come every evening at 5 p.m., Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We are holding a deliberations on Sainik schools, which I just wish to share with all of you. Our chamber is organizing almost 28 programs per week. On the average, we have got 4 programs per day. So, ladies and gentlemen, whatsoever human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Let's get together. Let's come together. Let's celebrate together and let's have a beautiful evening. Today we are having 700 second. That means 20 second. 722. We have already done 721 webinars during the pandemic, and today is 722nd webinar for us. And we extend a very warm welcome to all the ladies. A great, great respect, regards, blessings to all of you. And I would request Sunita Bhuyaji to give us a very scintillating, captivating, and I won't call it intoxicating, because intoxicating can be misunderstood, but intoxicating can be with the music also. So we can work it out, we can plan it out. And with these words, ladies and gentlemen, join me in extending a very hearty welcome on the eve of the International Women Day to all these women. And we start the evening with Madam Sunita Bhuyanji. Pleasure to have you, all of you. Wow, Mona Ravalji has also joined us. It's a great pleasure to have her after a long time. When we were in the thick of pandemic, she was with us that time. It's great, great. So now I would request Sunita ji, you can take on the floor. Let's go ahead, rocking music. And when we talk about education, and when we talk about women recognition, music for creativity in education, how it's important, because the water temperature will also change for Prabjot. Our education ecosystem will also change. Environment will also change for Dr. Barbara in London, in UK, and all that we are going to do. I would request you, kindly let's start the evening, and thereafter, my senior advisor from USA, Professor Dr. Shankar Natarajanji, will address all of them and invite them. With these words, let's have Madam Sunita Bhuyanji.
Vakritunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvighnam Kurme Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada Sanidha Nirega Marega Sa Nidhani Sani Madhani Rega Maparega Sa Gamanam Twaganapatim Havamahesh Kavim Kavinam Upamashravastanam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anat Shunbunnu Tebihi Siddha Sadhanam A very good evening to all of you. That was an invocation to the Lord of good luck, especially whilst I'm streaming this from Maharashtra, from Mumbai. It's past 8 o'clock in Mumbai, and summer has almost set in. There is no winter in Mumbai. All 12 seasons are either spring, autumn, or summer. And the winter sun is extremely sharp and warm. I hope you can hear the drone of my tanpura. Is it little loud? Is it loud? Shall I reduce it? Is
No, no,
it
it's
fine?
fine. It's fine.
The tanpura that I have here is the standing note of the Indian octaves. The two standing notes, sa and pa. Sa, pa. They're all together, playing together and creating an ambience to set the sur or the octave in the right pitch for me to be able to talk to all of you today. So thank you very much, Dr. Gulshan ji. Thank you for your warm invitation. We have been interacting for many years, and this event today is extremely relevant to all that you are pursuing, to creating a new thought in the minds of people who are learning, in the minds of people who are teaching, and those who are creating the platforms, the forums, the policies for the learners and the teachers together to create a better world. So thank you so much for doing this. 720 webinars is not a mean achievement. My only humble request to you, Gulshan ji, is that you cannot afford to, damage your voice, your vocal cords. And I hope that you do all that's needed to be able to keep them rejuvenated, to keep them strong. And I hope that all that we have done in the last few months, last 1 year, all of it comes together and creates a very nice synergy in this universe for those who need to learn and learn for better. So it's wonderful to be in this August audience, and thanks for all those who have joined. Music, apart from being a great entertaining platform, has got two profound benefits on the mind and body. The first is that music travels from the source of the musician, the artist, or the singer, and starts, reaches the mind or the brain of the listener. As soon as you hear a piece of music, you do two things. You may hear it and not listen to it, but if you like that piece of music, if that piece of music impacts you, attracts you, captivates you, enthralls you, intoxicates you, like Gulshan ji said, the process of our body moves from hearing to listening. And as we start listening intently to a piece of music, our brain or our mind sends signals to different parts of our body via the nervous system. It's almost like the brain is telling the body, hey, I think we like what we're hearing. Why don't we calm down? And that's when our body produces the feel-good hormones called the endorphins. And these hormones help us to regenerate our tired cells, help us to declutter our minds from the stress or the negativity that maybe our minds and body has gone through in the recent past. And they regenerate and create new cells in the body. Hence, the feeling of happiness that you have when you put on your favorite piece of music, when you switch on the music in the car after a long, bad day at work, when you hear a piece of music as you travel, when you listen to a nice song of a film or your favorite piece of music, the feeling of happiness, ladies and gentlemen, is not intangible. It is a scientific reaction of the body. When our hormones get produced, our body calms down and we feel happy. So let us regard happiness as the most important ingredients of our lives, to be able to learn, to be able to live, and to able to let others live in a better way. So happiness quotient increases when we listen to music of our choice. Now, any kind of music is music for your own ears, right? So it could be classical, Western, Indian, rock, jazz, but noise cannot be music. If it's a honking of a bus, the BEST Bombay bus, it is it's sound of the horn. That's not music. But yet there are two notes playing. Music is something that is woven together with the 7 notes and perspectives. And those 7 notes are sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. And in the Western world, those notes are do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do. And you'll be amazed and to know that all the music in the world, all the music under the sun in this universe is made of these seven notes, whether it's Indian, Western, classical, rock, jazz, pop, folk, reggae, Hollywood, Bollywood. All the music in the world is made of these seven notes. So, and there is no class or mass in music, because whether it's a street song, whether it's a cabaret song, whether it's a bhajan in a temple, a choir in the church, a Sufi nazam in a mosque, it is just the seven notes. So the music teaches us the most profound lesson of inclusiveness, inclusion. There is nothing beyond the seven notes. Like love is universal, humanity is universal, music is universal. Now let me talk about why do we link music with creativity. What do we have in music? We have these seven notes. And there are two components that we do. We have melody, which is the creation and the weaving of these seven notes, and there is rhythm, which is tal. Everything in life moves with a pace, moves with a rhythm. There's the rhythm of the universe. There's rhythm in our lives, in our phases, in music, in tals, in beats, in deadlines, in projects, in trains, in cars, in government policies. There is a rhythm, there is a time, and if we miss that rhythm and we miss that beat, we miss the bus of life. In the same way, just sangeet karte hai, when we are creating a piece of melody, like in orchestra, symphony, you see how the conductor is completely clueless of the world as maintaining the rhythm and the symphony and the harmony of this orchestra. Hence, rhythm is a very important part. So tal, which is rhythm in Indian, and melody or sur. Sur or tal के संमिश्रण से संगीत की creation होता है. So let me show you how. I've talked a lot. If these notes were given to a classical music composer, a guru, like my mother, she's 80 and she still plays the violin and she taught me. So today, this dedication of the entire Women's Day series is to my mother, my guru, my creator. I am because she is. If these were given to a classical music guru, what would he or she create? He or she would create a rag. Rags are music families in the Indian musical system, like symphonies and various pieces in Western music. Sani da ni sa re sa ni da ni da pa ga pa da ni sa re sa. Rag Bilawal, a very basic morning rag. I often told my mother, Ma, when will I stop learning Bilawal and keep learning something different? Then she told me a very profound lesson. You do not stop learning. You do not stop pursuing what you learned in your foundation. You keep on developing it, working on it, finding various facets. And hence, let's see what happens to Bilawal when we give it to a music director of Bollywood. Sa re ga pa ma ga re ga pa ma ga sa pa ma re ma ga sa pa ma re ga ma ga sa ni sa re ga ma ga kya ye bole janu na jiya dole hole hole kya ye bole janu na. सापा रे पामा दिल की जो बातें हैं सापा रे गामा 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 पामा गरे सापा रे पामा बातें जो दिल की है दिल में तू रखना पिया पिया बोले क्या ये बोले जानू ना जिया डोले hole hole क्यों ये डोले जानू ना. So what you see are the lyrics, what you hear, the lyrics, what you see are the visuals, the cinematography of the films, of the song, but what lies beneath are the seven notes, much like our lives, values, and foundations. What you see is greatness, success, dynamism, wealth, achievement, but what lies beneath are the foundations. Now, if these seven notes were given, now this was a very beautiful composition, a love song, a romantic song. What about a song in the cabaret, in the club, which we assume is not extremely classical, doesn't have the tenets of music in it? I want all of you to recognize this song. Sapa, dani sani da sapa, dani sani da pari, re ga ma pari, ga ma pa ga pari, ga re sa. Did you get it? 1, 2, 3, 4. नहीं 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 ये बातें है पुरानी है कैसी पहेली है ये कैसी पहेली जिंदगानी पानी सा सानी पामा पमा 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 पाधा धानी नी पानी रे नी सा थामा हाँ जिसको थामा हाँ रोका इसको जिसने हाँ ये तो बहता पानी. Now this song is dedicated to you, Gulshan ji. है कैसी पहेली है ये कैसी Gulshan ji की कहानी. May you keep flowing with your energy for like a gush of flowing water. Now this was 2 different kinds of songs with the same notes. What about Hollywood? What about Hollywood? Let's see if these 7 notes can also create a Hollywood melody.
Here you have picked up your instrument. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, my weapon of choice.
Yes.
Sa 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 ni sa ni sa re ga re sa 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 ni sa pa. Far across the distance and the spaces between us, you've come to say you go on. Sa sa re ni fa. Wherever you are, gama magare sani sani tha. Once more, you open the door and I'm here in my heart, and my heart will go on and
Lovely.
That was Titanic. And I wasn't trained in Western classical. I've never done a single Bollywood song. I've never done a single Hollywood song. Hollywood to bahut dur hai. But I was trained in one craft in depth for more than 25 years, and I still have to keep learning. So what I did today, ladies and gentlemen, is not because I'm a great violinist, but it's the depth of the craft, the training, the technique. Like in today's day, they say domain is king. If we are good in our craft and we keep building deeper and discovering facets of our own knowledge base, our own craft, our own domain, we'll rediscover, we'll recreate, we'll innovate, we'll recompose, we'll represent. And that's what my mother told me. You don't stop playing the rag you learned. You keep on developing it and deeper to depth. The deeper the depth, the wider the flexibility to align to the world. And that's what our students and youngsters need to learn, that it doesn't matter which school you went to. You may have gone to a very small school in a tier 3 city inside a small town, but your learning needs to be in depth. Your concepts need to be clear. Our concepts determine who we are, and our attitude to be able to adapt, our attitude to be able to align. So hence the training that I got in classical, or the training that the craft gives you, I'm no one beyond this craft. The structure, the science, the theory, the text of the classical technique, much like technology, much like finance, much like HR, much like education, much like any kind of domain we're talking of, engineering, manufacturing. If our domain is deep, our depth is deep, we can create, recreate. Hence, what do businesses want today? What does the world want today? We need to create more with less. We are one heart, but we need to love so many people. We've got one set of talents. We need to align to so many requirements of the world. We've got this much of resources, this much of infrastructure, only so much funding, only so many people, but yet we need to ensure that we go beyond our offering to deliver more with less. Hence, music is being taught in Harvard, across business schools, to create more with less. And hence, creativity is a very powerful learning of the musical craft. Well, that's about the creativity section. I don't know how the timing is because I get carried away. I'm now going to show you one more example of how even the most structured piece of music, we don't need to learn the language of our collaborators, of our customers, of our associates, as long as we know the language of our craft. So this is a Mozart piece, that Western classical piece along with an Indian classical raga. And mind you, the same raga Bilawal, jo humne 42 years back, I had learned it as my first lesson of music. Tell me which Mozart symphony this is. Sa ni sa re ga pa ma ga ri sa ni sa re ga pa ma ga ri sa ni da pa ma da pa ma ga ri ma ga ri sa ni sa re ga pa ma ga ri. So that was The World is One, and the 7 notes create all the music in the world. Well, apart from creativity, another very powerful dynamics that we learn from music is working together. Because the orchestra is a metaphor of working together with differences, with different people, with different sounds, strings, leather, wind instruments, all kinds of instruments come together, different kinds of sounds, stage, light setups, different conductors, different strengths, different skills, different ideas, different ethos. Each artist has a different ethos, yet the conductor gets everyone together and creates one sound. Hence, the orchestra is a fantastic example of teamwork, of collaboration, and not just partnership on its own, the art of partnerships. Partnership is a kala. Working together, साथ काम करने का एक कला होता है, एक तरीका होता है. You just can't come together because of the strengths you have. You've got to merge those strengths, weave them softly, weave them in such a way that each entity is retained. Each one's unique entities are retained. A partnership, a marriage, a coming together, collaboration is can only create synergy when each one's special strengths, special skills, unique ethos, unique emotions, ideologies, ideas, and strengths come together. We need to get together. We're going to challenge each other to create better synergy, not challenge each other to oust each other's uniqueness. And that's what music teaches us. If I do not get the best of my team members, I hope I can do a proper live orchestration demonstration sometime soon. But if we don't get the best out of our team members, we've got to share the sun with them. The first among equal. We are a first among equal. Gulshanji is a first among equals among his collaborators, but he has to give equal share of the sun, the limelight to everyone who works with him. In the same way as a musician, a leader is as good as his team. Like they say, that our team members are like our own children. We've got to take care of them more than our children because we don't know them from before. They are working with us. We've got to get them into our ideology. We've got to influence them, but we've got to respect them, give them that strength, that empowerment, and most importantly, the share under the sun. Agar stage share nahi karenge, to stage pe aana aapko koi hak nahi hai. If we do not share the stage, the world stage, the real stage, the backstage, we don't have the right to come onto the stage. And that's what music teaches us, to be completely humble and to share. Well, we've come to the end of my session, and I'd like to kind of get the world together. There is Canada, there is USA, there is UK here. Like they say, music, the Celtic music trail started in Canada, went by Europe, went to all the countries, and came back to the UK and settled, also went off to Scotland. And during my studies in Scotland, I realized a lot of the Celtic music punch and the rhythm is so similar to where I come from, my roots in Assam. Gulshanji, can you give me a time check, please?
Sir, ma'am, you take 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes.
So great. So I'm going to divide those 5 minutes into 2 small pieces. One is because we have someone who's a specialist in conserving water. We would like to give this dedicated to the Bard of the Brahmaputra's song, who shouted at the rivers and said, "Why do you keep flowing, dear river, when there is so much unrest around you? Vistar hai apar, praja dono par, kare hahakar nishabda sada, o Ganga tum, o Ganga behti ho kyun, vistirna parare akhankya janare, হাহাকার শুনেও নিঃশব্দে নীরবে বুঢ়ালুই তুমি বুঢ়ালুই গোৱা কিয় मानवता नष्ट हुई, नैतिकता भ्रष्ट हुई, निर्लज्ज भाव से बहती हो क्यों? इतिहास की पुकार करे हुनकार, इतिहास की पुकार करे हुनकार, हो गंगा की धार निर्बल जन को प्रबल संग्रामी समग्राग्रामी बनाते नहीं हो क्यों? That was a tribute to Bhupenda. And to end it, come on, all of you, you have been clapping a lot for me. You've got to tap your feet now. A Scottish reel with Assamese Bihu. 1, 2, 3, start. ওই তুক দেখি মুরগা কেনে বা লাগে ওই তুক দেখি মুরগা কেনে বা লাগে ওই বিহুরেনু তলিতে ওই নাচু নাচু লাগে ওই বিহুরেনু তলিতে নাচু নাচু লাগে ও মোর সেনাই ওই এনেকৈ নাচাবা পোহৰ মৰম লগাকৈ ও মোর সেনাই ওই এনেকৈ নাচাবা পোহৰ মৰম লগাকৈ তোক দেখি মুরগা কেনে বা লাগে
Great, great,
Thank
great,
you.
great.
Thank you. Thank you.
I run short of words, and I pray to Almighty. I pray to Almighty. This is actual. This is something from soul, from spirit, coming right from the heart, coming from the cerebrum, coming from the emotions. You set the tone so well on the eve of the International Women Day. As an elder brother, I send you so many blessings, so many blessings. I pray to Almighty, you should enjoy each and every day, every moment of your life, and everything is going to be fine. Everything is going to be fine. Everything is going to be fine. Let me tell you, let me tell you, let me tell you. Everything is going to be fine because the nature, the God, He always listens, and He is very near to the people, those are near Him. You're such a pious, you're such a wonderful soul. I hold you in a great respect in spite of so many challenges and difficulties and so many other couple of concerns. You had come this evening, and do you know, the lady sitting behind from the UK, she has got a very strong bond with you in Assam. Dr. Barbara has adopted Kaziranga. She's doing an NGO project over there in
Wow.
Assam.
Fantastic. I'll definitely send you a piece of music of Kaziranga for you to
Yes,
save the
yes.
rhino. To save the rhinos.
Yes, she has adopted a lot of things over there. She's doing a lot of work in Assam. Oh, see, she's showing you the rhino. She's showing you the rhino right over there. Look at it. So, ladies and gentlemen, world over, wherever you are, join me in extending a great salutations to this lady who has made the evening set tone so beautiful for
Thank
all
you.
of us. As an
Thank
elder
you.
brother, I send you all my blessings. All my blessings. May you enjoy each and every moment of your life. May God bring lots of happiness in your family. All the good days ahead. I will call you tomorrow morning, ma'am, around 10 o'clock.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Guru Chandji, for
Thank you.
inviting me.
Regards to your husband and lots of love to your piano playing tung 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 your son. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. And
My
I would
pleasure.
and here is now see we both are in minority today. Here is my senior advisor from the United States. He is Professor Vivek Shankar Natarajanji, and he's promoting Kanchipuram. He's deeply associated with India's athos, and we are doing a lot of work, ma'am. We will share with you in future. We will share in future.
Sure. Look forward to more. Thank you for the invitation. Thanks all for your patience in
Thank you.
listening to me.
Thank
Thank
you. God bless you. Thanks for coming. And we appreciate you have got lots of programs lined up, but still you had come. I'm proud of you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Vivek Shankarji, I would request you to kindly take on the floor now.
you.
Please take on the floor, Vivek Shankar Natarajan ji. Thank you, Sunita ji. Sunita Bhuiya ji, thank you. I'm so grateful. Okay, Vivek Shankar Natarajan ji, kindly take on the floor.
Namaste, good morning, and to all the people from US. Good evening to all the people in India.
And Vivek Shankarji, let's start with the prayer before Sunita ji goes for her next program. Let's do one prayer so that we do for the women recognition on this particular day. Come on, let's have it.
Om Sarvamangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadike Sharanye Trembake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Matru Rupena Sanstita. Namastasya, 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 Namo Namaha. So this is, I just wanted to give a little context to this because the ICSI, although it is international, it is rooted in the Bhumi of Bharat. And so I'll start with this Indic tradition, the Bharatiya Sampradaya of, is there a Women's Day? In fact, it turns out that there is not one Women's Day. The 365 days, all of them are Women's Day because that is what we get from our Shastras. Yatra naryastu pujyante ramante tatra devataha yatraitastu na pujyante sarvastra afalah kriyaha. That means where women are celebrated, that is where the gods reside. That is where auspiciousness resides. And if women are not celebrated or they are ill, if they are not respected, they are dishonored, whatever we may do, everything is unfruitful. That means it goes waste. So that this is basically, this sloka itself captures the ethos of our sampradaya. We are a tradition that respects what he called the Shakti Upasana. In fact, next week will be the Mahashivratri, and it is very pertinent. We talk of Shiva Shakti, the Purusha Prakriti dyadic concepts. And when we talk about that, it is pertinent to note that only one night is dedicated to Shivji, that is Mahashivratri. That's it. Only 1 out of 365, whereas you will get, there are 5 or 6 Navratris in a year. So basically 45 days. So the percentage allocation is of a very high order. And during Navratras, it is not, this is the living tradition. It is not something in a museum. It's not an anthropological case study. This is something that we practice even today. We worship, women at various stages, as balas, as kanyas, as suvasinis, as vriddha subhangsanis, and even people talk about that widows are disrespected. Not really. There is a tradition of even respecting widows. They are called as Dhumavati Swarupas. So this basically, this our Shastras is all this there. Just wanted to put that in perspective. So having said that, this is a wonderful opportunity for all of us to kind of think about. As they say, when winter is there, can spring be far away? So this couple of months, Magha and Phalguna, as we call it, are basically the months of the late summer, and then spring is in the offing. So no wonder we are now starting to see some blossoms, and spring basically heralds a new season. And it's very pertinent that we are celebrating Women's Day. This is there as a, so we have this wonderful panel. And so each of them, I'm going to call out in an order, and I'm going to brief the introduction. So I'll be honest, we as professors, we are supposed to be prepared, but we always are also, but the Gulshanji is a soldier. So he likes to put you through the, what we call as they say, people are like tea bags. You don't know how good. And since we had a session from Assam, he always likes to believe that, Assam tea. So basically, he always says that, we don't know how good you are unless you put them in hot water. So he's put me in hot water, not by any, it's a very pleasant hot water, but the point is, he has asked me to introduce a lot of these wonderful panelists. And all I have is the data is in the form of the flyer. And I'm going to go off the flyer, and I will request each of you to say something unique about the thing. So I'll be honest here, what we call as in the parlance of marketing, which is my personal, we call as customer co-production. Also, I'll request you all to also add to you the basic data introduction I give to all of you. So I'm going to call you out in the order that this flyer has been made. This is a very random sample. I'll also, truth be told, there is a little bit of a conflict of interest for me on this panel, because I have 2 people who I'm very closely associated with. One of them happens to be my sister. The other one is my wife. So if I do any conflict of interest, I'll have a problem. So I will just go by the flyer that Gulshan ji has given me. So with that, the first panelist that I'm going to request is Srimati Nirja Singh. Nirja Singh ji is the Senior Director and Head Infrastructure for Roads. I think I'm on the, do we see her on the panel, sir?
I don't see her here.
Okay.
I don't see her
so
right
then,
now.
then let's move on to UK. Let's go into the other side of the Atlantic, or the other side of the pond, as we call it here in the US. Let's go to Dr. Barbara Maas, the founder and chief executive of People for Nature and Peace. I know she's into water conservation and ecological issues. Ma'am, Welcome, welcome to the panel. The floor is yours, and I think Gulshanji, every participant can take about 3 to 5 minutes. Is that a fair game?
All,
Perfect.
all yours, all yours.
Absolutely. No, no,
Thank you so
absolutely. So
much.
thank you, ma'am. The
Thank
floor
you.
is yours.
Yeah, I wanted to talk not just to the women's panel here and the men who are on the panel and beyond. First of all, thank you for letting me be part of this family. Um, Leadership, women's leadership, I think leadership is hard, no matter whether it's women who are leading or whether it's men that are leading. And I would start how I would like to end is that in order to lead effectively and with integrity, we need to listen, as we have just been told by our previous speaker, to the music of the universe and the music of the earth, to live with integrity and service and wisdom and compassion. There are so many more men in leadership roles than there are women. So it is easy perhaps for young women and for us women to think that in order to become effective leaders, we have to adopt male traits and male characteristics or traits that men use to push themselves into leading positions. But the scientific evidence doesn't actually bear that out. Unfortunately, and at the risk of attracting a lot of flack, people who have done personality studies of particularly men, I guess, in the Western world that are in leading positions such as chief executives and presidents and so on, found that there is a high proportion of people that are overconfident, that are narcissistic, that have unethical tendencies to advance themselves. And we have seen one example on the other side of the pond, as the colleague said. How did that happen? Well, it has happened because people believe when a strong man comes and said, I will solve every problem and just trust me. But it is the supreme example, I think, that the globe has experienced of leadership that is unhealthy, not just for the person who is leading, but for the society that is being led by it and for the planet. So as women, we mustn't think we must become like men, cutthroat, overconfident to lead. I think one of the things that I always do is remember why you started. When you hit a hard point, and leadership is hard and hard points will come, remember why you started and check your intentions. And that means for the whole of your life, your professional life, your career, as much as if you go into a meeting, be it a difficult meeting or be it an easy meeting. Be it with staff or with colleagues or with potential partners, check your intention and act whenever you can with integrity. Practice compassion towards others and yourself in leadership. With women, we are naturally given to nurturing. And I think that is something to be brought, that we can bring to it. And rather than focus into what divides us as women and men in leadership, I think we should take the best qualities from both sides and bring them together. Just compassion is not enough, and just nurturing isn't enough. In leadership, you have to make hard decisions and sometimes have to give hard feedback and sometimes have to take hard feedback and criticism yourself and try not to crumble under it, or at least not too long. Except that, surround yourself with a good support network, professionally and personally, would be my advice from experience. Look at your other women as sisters rather than as potential um, competitors. I'm aware of my own history, and if I look at young women particularly, we have our elbows out more. You know, we have our elbows out more when we're younger. We want to stand out. But as in every realm of life, your ego is not your amigo. The globe and humanity and all life on earth faces such tremendous challenges these days that unless we manage to come together across gender, across race, across economic backgrounds, across whatever we can use, religions, political beliefs, unless we manage to focus on the real challenges and come together and combine all our resources and all hands to the deck to save the life support system of Mother Earth, the woman in charge of all of us, to stay alive and live a life that is worth living. And I will close now, not to take up too much time. One of the greatest Indians that I'm aware of said, "Be the change you want to see in the world." And I think that is such a beautiful message that is relevant to us as women, that is relevant to men, and that is relevant in our professional and in our personal lives. Namaste. Thank you so much for having me.
Natarajan ji, hello. Lamar University, Texas, Houston. Okay, right. I will take on the journey. I think, where is he? He's taking time. Could I request Mona Rawal, ma'am, if you say a few words on this occasion? And
And I'm
thereafter,
here, sir.
oh, I was waiting for you. I know you're having your breakfast also. Don't worry. I will
No, no,
also
actually, no, it's my little one was calling. So,
I
okay.
know.
Okay, okay, sir,
I've
let's go ahead.
requested Mona ji. I've requested Mona ji to just say a few words. Last time she gave a wonderful inputs to us. That video has gone to right up to Prime Minister's office, and that was in the beginning of our coronavirus. And I'm so grateful to her that she had been very kind to join us today again. And let's hear a little input from her side. And I think the first round we can have little introduction of everybody so that we all know each other, and a few points, and then we can have second round. Vivek Shankar ji.
Yeah, I'm here, sir. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Mona ma'am.
Namaste, Namaste everyone. Very good morning from San Francisco.
It must be very early for you.
No, it's okay. It's a
Okay.
good time to wake up. And so my name is Dr. Mona Raval, and I teach philosophy at Foothill College in Los Altos Hills in California, which is San Francisco area. And I have been teaching philosophy from a long time in many colleges in US as well as in India. I taught for 7 years, and my journey has been extremely rewarding. Philosophy is my passion, and I think I was born to do it because I think this is something which identifies me as a human soul. So I feel very blessed to practice my passion and also grow into my passion. And when we talk about women in philosophy, especially because it's Women's Day, I've seen that at least in America, I haven't seen women much in philosophy. Like in my college, I'm the only woman in my department. And I think having a woman teach philosophy gives such a different dimension to the whole art of philosophizing, because I know that, genetically women are different than men in so many different ways, and it brings a totally different perspective when a woman talks about issues in philosophy. So I think more and more women should join philosophy, because we give diversity to our education when there are more women. And it's not only about women, it's about how different philosophies come together and then we get a bigger picture. We all work towards a higher good, and that's what this world will be a better place when women also join forces equally in making this society a better place. And women have always been so. They are the warriors at home, but I think that women should come out, at least, in the field of education, and also support our community in that manner. I know that in India, women play a very huge role in supporting the education system of India. When I used to be a schoolgirl, every single teacher of mine was a woman, maybe because I studied in a girls' school, but we didn't generally have a male in our school. So I know that women support the education system so strongly, and we should celebrate that aspect of India, which is lacking a lot in the Western world, I would say. I haven't seen so many women in my field, at least in philosophy. So I'm very proud that in India, women are being such strong supporters of education. And I'm very proud to be an Indian. And I hope that I make a difference and the community that I live in over here in America as well. Thank you.
Professor
Yeah,
Honorable
Monaji.
Vivek Shankarji.
I'm here, sir. I'm here. Yes, sir. Major sir, reporting for duty. Monaji, thank you very much. Thank you again. That's beauty of philosophy. It teaches you how to express thoughts in a very, very condensed way, in a very humoristic way. Thank you for those wonderful insights. The next panelist that I would like to call, and again, in keeping in line with what Monaji said, women in education. She's a colleague, and she's also a leader in kind of increasing access to higher education in the US through technology. Dr. Poonam Kumar from my own university, Lamar University. Poonamji, please introduce yourself, and the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Natarajan. I want to thank you for including me in this discussion and for inviting me to the session. Greetings to everyone around the world who's watching this. As Dr. Natarajan said, my name is Poonam Kumar, and I lead the digital learning initiatives at Lamar University. We offer courses and programs to students all over the world. And the initiative is primarily done to provide increased access to students where they cannot travel to us, but they can take the advantages of the education from wherever they are through different technologies. And I recently joined Lamar. My journey has been pretty interesting. I come from a very small town in North India, in Haryana. I started out as a professor, and I went through the ranks of different levels of professors. And later on, about 7 years ago, I took leadership role in digital learning. And one of the reasons I did that is because as an educator, I believe in the power of education. And I think we can use a lot of technologies to provide education to more people, especially women. And as we see the numbers, we see that an increasing number of women are now being educated at higher levels all over the world. And I am very passionate about empowering women that way. I want to follow up very briefly on Dr. Barbara's comments about leadership. I fully agree with her that women have very unique leadership styles, and sometimes the intersection of culture and your gender also impacts your leadership styles. And it is a skill that you have to learn. It's not that it automatically comes to you. And I have been very fortunate that I've had good mentors along the way, and I have learned skills along the way. So I would encourage all the women to take advantage of different skills and seek out mentors. And as women who are in this role, share their own journey with aspiring young women so that they can learn what it takes to be a leader. In my view, being a leader is not about yourself. It is about others and what you can do for them. So I really appreciate this opportunity to learn from each one of you and to see how you are impacting the lives of other people. It is truly, truly inspiring. I thank you again, and I look forward to staying in touch with everybody and sharing my own expertise and my own views in other sessions as well. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Poonamji. And, we really appreciate your time here. And, thank you for spending the time on the panel. Next, Gulshanji, since you did not give me any order, I am going to go and another person that I would like to call next would be Dr. Priya Balakrishnan. Priya ji is again, and I'll leave her to introduce herself, but she is primarily coming from the area of medicine. And as she calls it now, it's not about illness, it's about wellness. So that's her big mantra. So Priya ji, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much,
yeah,
Vivek ji. I really appreciate it.
Dr. Vivek Shankar Natarajanji, the best was to hear about Madam's wellness village. Oh my God, I was moved on that. The other day, the kind of input she gave to all of us. Namaskaran, Vanakkam, Namaste. Such a pleasure to have you. Such a pleasure
to
have you.
Gulshan ji. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Deeply appreciate your service to our country and to the world. And deeply appreciate being invited by yourself and Vivek ji to this distinguished panel of extraordinary ladies who all I wish were my best friends, and hopefully we can start that journey today. Just each lady that has spoken here today and is going to speak is just an inspiration. They're awe-inspiring. They're beautiful. Just truths, spilling out of the words that they are uttering. I mean, I can feel and hear and deeply enjoy the truths that are coming out. So I thought today's talk was a little bit about music, but since we're talking about women and, gender sort of a type thing, from a medical perspective, I'd just like to add, a little bit of a thing that I feel, what I have noticed in the last 30 years or so. I think that having been exposed to multiple areas in wellness and in in creativity and intellect, that all the ladies on this panel are also exposed to. I feel that the physical strength of women can match the physical strength of a moderately well-trained male in terms of muscle mass, in terms of physical strength, just physical strength, endurance. And then we, of course, have these outlier women that are doing as much as the strongest men on the planet, for the most part. I'm not sure that we can actually exactly equate that. So from a medical perspective, and also from an equality and sort of becoming gender blind in the future, I think that an important area to focus on education-wise for women and for equality in society is physical fitness training at the school level all over the country. And this has to be, I watch these Kate and Pippa Middleton in UK, and I see how physically fit and how demanding they are of their physical frames. And some of the best doctors that I know here in the US are also bodybuilders. And being, the director of the Immortality Institute, I feel that this is an area that we are not, maybe we need to put a lot more emphasis and strength on. And I think that with physical fitness training of both boys and girls, in addition to music, which also develops, the brain and the creativity and brain, but physical fitness and, not necessarily punitive or just endurance alone, but, things like flexibility, physical, like these obstacle races where you have to think while you're physically moving the body. Those kinds of challenges, even with small available space in schools, perhaps they do need to be taught and encouraged. And physical fitness should be also taken into account in admissions into colleges, particularly medical colleges, I feel. Because as doctors, we do hold the responsibility of modeling good health. Thank you so much. I deeply appreciate the opportunity. Namaskaram.
Priyaji, thank you. Those comments were actually very pertinent, and especially I think in the pandemic we have seen a lot of frontline healthcare workers, and most of them happen to be of women. And you're right. I mean, there is definitely a burnout, and if probably physical training helps, and I think that there is definitely evidence there. And I think, I mean, whether it's it cuts across genders. I think we all need to be physically active and
I agree.
just better. And so, as they say, a healthy body leads to a healthy mind. And so, the next that I'd like to invite talk would be Namrata ji. I think she's basically from the behavioral sciences area. So, I think it's an interesting foray. I'm trying to connect the dots and try to make this more of an interesting journey as best as I can. Namrata ji, so from body to mind. So please, the floor is yours. Please, introduce yourself and offer your perspectives. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Natarajan, and hello everyone. Very happy Women's Day. Thank you, Dr. Sharma, for having me on this panel. Such a pleasure. I was not hoping to speak right now. I was enjoying listening so much. But yes, I think it's amazing from what I heard. And Dr. Natarajan, I really wish that what you had spoken in the beginning about how women are worshipped and how women are treated across the year, not just for a few days. I wish statistics could support that, and women's mental health could be in a much better space, especially in developing countries and patriarchy-oriented countries and societies. However, I think in that domain we still have a long way to go before we can actually say that women and men's mental health is there's an equity to it. However, right now statistics are not very great. But I think women's mental health is extremely crucial. I am the founder of Talk Heal Psychotherapy. I'm based in Canada. And it's heartbreaking sometimes for me to see having to work with women in Canada and from United States, and still being captivated by the prolonged trauma and oppression that they have endured while they were either back in their home countries that were patriarchally dominated, or while even they are in the other side of the globe, still experiencing the trauma from the oppression of either it was patriarchy or it was marital abuse by in-laws. It's very heartbreaking. But my work is primarily dominated into the domain of spreading awareness about women's mental health, because just as Priya just said that how the physical strength is significant, and I strongly believe that with all due respect to both genders, but I think women by nature have been bestowed unlike, I'm short of words to exactly say how much strength, because as women, we have that miracle to create life, carry a life, and bring a life to this earth, which I'm sure men cannot do. And that pain that women endure, it's more than physical. I think it's here. It's the mental capacity of women to even contemplate that. And I think there was a video, and I'm sure it hasn't happened yet, but I think how on YouTube and TikTok people are super creative. So there was a video where they said that if man could feel the labor pain during when the wife was giving birth, and so they had created a very interesting video where the wife is giving birth, husband can only feel the pain, and he was like, no, I don't want to have this child, let's regress, let's go back. It was extremely interesting but very thought-provoking as well, that do we really identify, do we really respect women, do we really give them that space? Because majority of women experience postpartum depression after childbirth, and in a lot of societies that is so dismissed. It's just that oh, you're just being lazy. That is so heartbreaking. So I think when we talk of women in leadership particularly, we cannot negate the background context to what women have to endure, how women, though we all juggle roles like men and women both, but the primary factor that makes women more vulnerable to mental health and why we need to be more cognizant of how we support women is because of the physiological differences, the hormonal differences. On a monthly basis, women go through a menstrual cycle, which is really draining for a woman. The childbirth, the labor pains, the process of childbirth, and then the whole postpartum. And there's so much that women endure, which men have no clues what women are enduring and how it impacts their mood. So I think when we talk of women in general and specifically in leadership, it's extremely important to understand that yes, women make wonderful leaders. And I think one of the speakers had already said that, you know, with being the nurturers, women do bring much more into leadership on table. So I think it's a beautiful combination of having women in leadership. And I think one thing which will really be extremely good in the term of leadership would be once women can really break their own shackles. Once as women, we can really realize that we have un, unprecedented potential, which a lot of women unfortunately do not get an opportunity to even foresee the potential that they carry inside, and they lead entire life without realizing and unlocking the potential that they have. So I would like to really see and hope that I can help women realize we are taking care of their mental health to identify the true potential that they have and really unlock it and really do best in their life and give back to society as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Namrata ji. I think those are very insightful points that you make, and certainly some of these things I can only empathize. But of course, you're right. Some of us don't get. I mean, we just have to. But I think I'm learning from all these conversations a lot, obviously, and hopefully we all can empathize, and that will make us better human beings, better at appreciating all these pains and these issues. So thank you for those insights.
Thank you, Dr. Thank you, Professor Vivek.
Thank you. Thank you. So with that, from Canada, we again come back into the US and we request Prabjot ji. So basically,
Prabjot is in Canada.
No, Canada. Somewhere it said Indiana. Okay. She's still in Canada. Okay. Nevertheless, we are still in North America. Oh, how about that? We are still technically okay. Let's sit in Canada. And so Prabjot ji, from one Canadian to another. So please, the floor is yours. Show us, we will like to have your insights, especially as a filmmaker. I think there are a lot of us, we are telling stories, but you're the one who is really taking these stories and, telling to an audience. I think you can definitely, I'm sure you're going to tell us a compelling story. What is yours? Thank you.
And Prabjot ma'am, before you ask for Punjab water going down, think about Bangalore and Chennai also. Don't forget. Think about Bangalore and Chennai also, okay? Because we need a lot of support there as well.
So thank you so much for having me today. And as today's theme is about music, so the earth has music for those who can listen. So what I am doing right now through the education which I've gained, I am a storyteller. I've been translating the voice of water through documentaries, through all the resources that I have, because the water is actually feeling the pain of, what humans are throwing into, how they're treating water. Though all the scriptures, all the holy religious, all the religious institutions, or I can say all the holy scriptures, has water as a main component. We regard water as goddess, as a supreme entity. But what are we doing with the water? So that's something I am trying to do, and yeah, hopefully I can translate the water of. Currently, I'm translating the water of Punjab, but hopefully in the future I can translate the water of other states as well. And I'm working through Water Speaks through Planet One. So because Earth is one, and our planet is one, and water do speak. I mean, if we have a good listening ears. So yeah, let's all come together and save our environment.
Thank you, Prabjotji. Thank you very much. So I think that was very compelling. Water in a nutshell. That's really what you said. So I think next from water, I think now I think we can finally cross back into the US again. From water, we move into there's the 5 tattvas in what we call as the Indian philosophy, Panchabhutas, as we call. So from water, let's move into earth. And so for that, I'm going to ask somebody who's rooted in Silicon Valley, Vidya Natarajan, but and don't hold it against her, but she also happens to be my sister. So, but hopefully she can do a better job. And but remember, I had no role in selecting this panel. This panel was put together by Gulchanji. So, full disclosure. So with that, I'm going to request Vidya to say a few words. She is basically a material scientist. So she brings the earth element from water. So let's move there. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivek. Thank you, Dr. Sharma, for having me on this panel. I have been really enjoying listening to all the amazing women on the panel speak. Surita ji was so mesmerizing that I think I lost myself quite a few times. She was so beautiful. This is such an interesting topic, women, stay, and music. And Sunita ji made such a good point about teamwork. I think she was talking about work, but I have to sort of bring it home also. And we talk about women's leadership, but we talk about women not being on the top positions and in holding CEO roles. And we talk about all these big things. But I think it actually in my humble opinion, it starts in a much smaller place, which is home. And I think if we can make small changes in raising our the next generation of men, the little boys in our home, I think that's where we have a lot of scope for improvement, or where we can make some fundamental changes in where we approach things that will really help set the stage for the next generation of women to succeed. I have 2 little boys of my own, and my husband and myself, we've made it a priority to teach them all the basic skills that we need for survival, right? Cooking and cleaning, these are traditionally seen as women's tasks. We see them as any individual needs these skills to survive. So my sons are routinely baking. They don't clean up after themselves, but that's okay. That's why parents are here. They bake, they cook. And I think, as we raise these young men, I know we think of women traditionally as nurturing and caring, but the truth is that there are, masculine and feminine qualities in both men and women. So why not, put a little bit more focus on bringing out these softer qualities in boys? And on one hand, of course, we're encouraging women to say, what, there's no stopping you. You go get, you can get it done. You can achieve everything you want. I think on the other side of it, we have to make sure that our men, our boys are able to handle, all the challenges life throws at us. I'm sure we have all been through these same challenges, where you have your ambitions, your partner has ambitions, and how are you going to mesh all this to create a successful life that works for everyone? I get carried away, so maybe I don't know how much time I've taken, but that's one point I did want to make. But I've really enjoyed listening to all the amazing women on the panel speak. It's been such a treat, such a pleasure. And like Dr. Priya Balakrishnan said, I wish this panel was, is going to be my future set of best friends. I think she said it best. What a wonderful, wonderful way to kickstart Sunday morning here. Thank you, Dr. Sharma. Thank you, Vivek.
Oh, well, thank you. In fact, I'm so happy today. I baked a pizza, so I think I met up to my Vidya's expectations. And my, part. I don't blame my mother. I think she tried, but I don't know if I picked up. But today I did try to bake a pizza, so that's what, maybe I'm also taking baby steps. But so with that, I think now we see Vidya mentioned family, and so literally we are going. I'm headed home because the next panelist is somebody I I mean I don't know if again I have no role in selecting this panel. This is totally Gulshan Ji's thing. So my role is to the next panelist will be YJNT.
Yes.
Uh, let's put it this way. She's my better half. So hopefully you get the. And so I'm the better half. She's the better half. So you probably get the better deal here, hopefully. And so you can. So next, the floor is Vaijayanti. She will introduce herself.
Namaste. And thank you, Gulshan ji, for having me here. And first of all, wish you all a very happy Women's Day. And as Vidya rightly said, the last 1 hour was like a trance. It was like totally enjoying each and everyone's views and especially Sunita ji's wonderful music.
Yes, yes. Please allow her, allow her, allow her. Yes, my grandchild. Happy International Women Day, my girl child day. Yes. Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah. So, very interesting topic, music and leadership and women. It goes hand in hand. That's my personal feeling. And as Sunita ji rightly said, those are the 7 notes. And I would like to sing a few lines where one of the greatest trinities, Muthuswami Dikshidhar, compared the Western notes with Indian classical music.
Little observation because Barbara G said about Dr. Moss basically talked about Celtic tunes or was it Sunita Ji? But anyway, this is basically Celtic tunes with Indian lyrics. So it's a little bit of it. It fits the theme today of globalized world. Thank you.
Sariga ma pa pa dani sani da pa ga ma da mari ga pa ga sari mari ni sa sa श्यामळे मीनाक्षी सुन्दरेश्वर साक्षी शङ्करी गुरुगुह समुद्भवे शिवेवा. Again, the lyrics also has a meaning as Shiva and Shakti go hand in hand. So it's again, without Shakti's power, Shiva is not there. And without Shiva's power, Shakti is not there. So, and according to me, art, women, and music, and any form of art, what I see is you gain a lot of patience, which I see in women, which is a very natural characteristic of a woman. Probably, I wouldn't say a percentage, but at least definitely 0.01% women have been showcasing patience little more in a natural quality. So in any art form is like a kind of a meditation art form, whether take it music or be it dance. The way we channelize our prana, and it's a kind of a pranayama or meditation, and which will channelize to patience, and which will make definitely any person a better leader. And I think women has a very natural quality of being very patient. So that's how I see art and music form with women and leadership, which goes hand in hand. And I also like to quote a few lines of a poem by the great poet Subramanya Bharatiyar, who's also a freedom fighter. And the meaning of the poem says it's like uh, a strong mind and confident mind and sweet nectar like words. Whatever we speak, let it be very sweet. Let us not harm or hurt anybody's feelings. And a good thought and good thinking. And when all these three fall in place, and ultimately our dreams are definitely going to come true, and we are going to definitely achieve our goal. மனதில் உறுதி வேண்டும் வாக்கினிலே இனிமை வேண்டும் நினைவு நல்லது வேண்டும் நெருங்கின பொருள் கைப்பட வேண்டும் மனதில் உறுதி வேண்டும் உண்மை நிலவிட வேண்டும் let us pray. The Almighty give us all the power, patience, and perseverance and humility, which is all more important for us to strive in this world. And uh, and once again thank Gulshan ji, and of course my better half Vivek ji, for giving me the opportunity. And really, I should say he's been a backbone for me to come in and talk over here. And I'm again so proud that I'm a mother of a little girl who I really want to put her in the path of a better, with a very responsible, socially responsible person to this world. And thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. God bless you. And I'm just telling little one, where is she? Ah, there she is. Yes, we can see her. She's putting on headphone. Yes, God bless you, ma'am. God bless you.
Gulshan ji, I think I'll just like to make a few summary comments. I mean, I know,
Sure.
I don't want to be the one who's going to comment again on all of these wonderful thoughts. I think they all, they are all great and wonderful in their own right. And then I think there's a lot of interesting thing came out, and all the panelists were really, like they were all harmonious, as we call us in the notes. We called us concordant notes and discordant notes, but there was no discordance at all. There was no music. It was all samvad. There was no vivad. So that is one thing. And I'm so glad that all of this came together. We covered quite a bit of the spectrum from Bharat, from UK, from Canada, US, and of course, so we've gone kind of around the world in a way. Not around the world in 80 days, but around the world in probably 80 minutes or 180 minutes. I don't know, something like that. And it's that I think the point is this celebration should not be a one-day affair. It should be a lifelong affair. And I think people also evolve. For me, Women's Day, did it resonate when I was with my mother? Maybe not, because as a kid, but maybe it resonated when I saw my wife in action. But certainly when one becomes a father of a daughter, Women's Day becomes very important, because you have for a father, there cannot be something more precious than a daughter. So that is what it is. So sometimes people also evolve, is what I wanted to say. So I think we all have to take care of that, and a wonderful week ahead. Next week is also Mahashivratri, so it's also a week of spiritual contemplation, if you will. So with that, I think I will hand the floor over. Thank you, Gulshan ji. From next week, we will be back to kind of the normalcy. That doesn't mean we will be having our regular panels, but this was a one-off interesting thing. And those of you who have been on the panel, who have not done a special one-on-one session, this is your chance. We will be getting you back in more in-depth format. But today was more like a curtain raiser, more like what we call as not a curtain, partly a curtain raiser, partly a roll call, so to speak. So it doesn't mean that you stop here. We will be bringing you back in a more in-depth way. So thank you, Gulshan ji, for allowing me to do this panel. And if I did not introduce you properly, please apologize. And I think we've hit quite a bit of good notes here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor our Vivek Shankar Natarajan ji. You are always wonderful. Thank you very much for your valuable support. And I'm grateful to all the ladies, those have come over here, and very especially to your sister, Dr. Vidya Natarajan. She had been so kind, and I've been hearing quite a bit, but one of these days I'm going to have a separate session with her. We will work on to that. We will take her expertise, and we will try to pick up some more nodes over there, like we got Dr. Priya V. Balakrishnan ji earlier. And Dr. Barbara, before I close the session today and convey my gratitude and thanks to everybody, because tomorrow I'm going to have a very special session on northeast part of India. Tomorrow, Arunachal ladies are joining together. Arunachal is the last state of the northeast part of India, which has got a complete boundary surrounded by China and Tibet and other places. So it's a very important state, and it's a very beautiful state. And people are so versatile: art, craft, culture, cuisine, dances, music, everything when I talk about. Now, you're doing a project in Assam. For a minute or so, would you like to share your project before I close? Because we are talking about on the eve of International Women's Day. You as a woman, all the way from United Kingdom, your origin is in Germany. You are in UK. You have taken the project in India, and you have gone all the way to northeast part of India, and you have taken a project in Assam. I just wish to hear about a minute or so. What exactly are you doing over there, so that before I close, I can hear you for a minute?
Thank you very much. I'll keep it very brief,
Yes.
Dr. Sharma, and I hope that your vocal cords are holding up throughout this. Yes, of course, we talked about unity and common purpose, and I think that is something that came across very clearly today, as in most of your wonderful events. And so it is, on the surface of it is surprising that a German lady should be active in Assam, but Assam is, in India is host to so many wonderful species, many unfortunately of which are used, not just only used in cruel ways, but used beyond beyond the way that they can sustain themselves. So we kill them quicker than they can reproduce. And rhinos, in Assam's rhinos is one of the species that is hunted mercilessly. Rhinos all around the world have a price on their head, and their horn is worth more than gold. So they're used in China and in other parts of Southeast Asia for medicinal purposes and as an aphrodisiac. As a status symbol. So all of these things that we don't really need, nonsense. So we can, but people want them and people kill them. Rangers get killed protecting them. We had 2 this month that were killed in Kaziranga National Park. We have poachers that get shot. We have people who put their faith in a medicine that does nothing for them. Although I'm not saying traditional Chinese medicine doesn't work, I believe it works, but rhino horn is not a remedy that will make life-changing benefits for you. So to help counterbalance this demand for the horn on the end of these animals, we have partnered up with an organization called Aranyak in Guwahati in Assam, and with the wildlife department, the forest department in Assam, and have set up a anti-poaching sniffer dog unit that helps to protect the rhinos by leading the rangers, the government rangers, to culprits, to poachers, to stashes of horns, of weapons, of illegal money, to follow the trail where there have been incursions into protected areas by people with bad intent. So these people have 4 dogs and 4 dog handlers who we have equipped, trained the dogs from little puppies in the service of protecting rhinos. And it is part of my expression of a common cause, how we can come together. This is funded by donations from people in Germany or in England, many of whom have never seen an Indian rhino and will never see it. But they make a contribution to something they value. And if that is the focus we can all have, and link hands from one part of the globe to another to make good things happen and support the people on the front line of protecting these animals who are so strong and have survived millions of years, but cannot defend themselves against bullets and greed. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Barbara. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. You're always concerned to do something good for the climate change and for the environmental protection, animal protection. And that's a great task. And people, those are watching, there are more than 800 people, those are watching this particular program. You feel little shy to put your post over here. Never mind. As long as you're watching, we are very happy. And we want to take this vision ahead. We will have one session with Dr. Barbara one of these days onto this issue once again, and we will work on to that. and we will take it up. Dr. Vidya Natarajanji, I will look forward to have a program with you one of these days. And my deep gratitudes and thanks to Dr. Priyavi Balakrishnan ji. She's always very, very supportive. I'm thankful to Vajanti ji for her efforts. She having spared her valuable time. Lots of blessings to your little one. And once again, all the ladies, those joined for this particular program on the eve of the International Women Day, we pray to Almighty that as it is, this universe is because of you. You're a mother also, you're a sister also, you're a daughter also, you're a child also, you're a grandchild also, and everybody is together over there. So all of us, we have to do a lot together. We have to plan it out. Now, before we close this particular session, I would request Professor Vivek Shankar Natarajanji to say a small prayer, and then we close this particular session. And may God bless all of us, and let's do something good for the humanity. I think a small prayer we can do together.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
please.
sir. My daughter wants to say one word and then I will say.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Sudhir.
God bless you. God bless you, my grandchild.
Okay.
God bless you. Yes.
Om sarve bhavantu sakinaha, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om shanti, shanti, shanti. Shri Gurubhyo namaha, Harihi Om. Om sarvesham mangalani bhavantu. Gulshan ji, thank you. We will reconvene, I think, next week. Thank you all for being on the panel. Thank you for all the attendees and thank you for all the participants.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for your most valuable time. So green morning, green afternoon, green evening, wherever you are, stay safe, stay